Okay, so we're at Dan Cosgrove, second day. Roxy here is our primary focus of interest at the moment. And go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Laura Bourbon. I'm the director of the Dan Cosgrove Animal Shelter in Branford, Connecticut. And Roxy came to us from one of the larger city shelters in New Haven, and she was labeled as dog aggressive. She's been there for over a year. She came to us 2 days ago. We specifically took a few dog aggressive dogs to come here so that we could evaluate them while you were here.
So we could demo.
Yep.
Demo the awesomeness of Playgroups.
Yep.
Right, Ashton?
Hi.
Okay, and you have done something that I think is incredible. You made me cry yesterday because you told me about your thesis for your master's degree.
Yep.
Your master's in what?
So my master's is in animal science. My focus is on environmental factors that affect kennel shelter dogs. And I'm focusing on light, temperature, humidity, sound, and odors, and how the dog's behaviors are affected by those things, and how they either progress or regress from those things.
Okay, and what is it that you specifically did in your study that made me cry yesterday?
So I slept in the shelter for a week straight, but on multiple occasions I've done it through different seasons because I wanted to understand the seasonality issue with winter, fall, summer, spring, and what noises are affected by being here at night and how the dogs behave to those issues. Some obviously have tremors and
And how long did you stay in the kennel?
for a week straight.
A week straight.
Each time, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
And what did you feel like when that happened to you? When you chose to do that to yourself, not that it happened to you.
Right.
What was that experience like?
It was probably one of the worst and best experiences I've ever had in my life, just because I was able to understand the things that the dogs were actually experiencing. So I may not have understood them in their terms, but I understood them in my terms, and I was able to evaluate how they were reacting to those things.
And how did you feel?
I was extremely depressed by the end of them. I lost weight. I was dehydrated. It took a long time to recover.
How much weight did you lose?
Each time about 5 pounds, and it took a while.
It's coming close so I can hear you while we're
Yep.
filming these guys. Go ahead.
So it was a while to recovery because I felt almost like I abandoned them when I left the shelter, because I was gone and they were still stuck there. And even though I would come back and see them, it didn't feel the same as it did when I was there with them. So and I was able to, up close and personal, be able to see what was happening with these dogs when they were stuck alone at night, and the noises, the cries, and the ones who would tremor, and thunder and lightning and cold and things that you wouldn't get to necessarily feel if you're not sleeping in the kennel are
Right.
things that I was exposed to. And there were some really cold nights here because we leave the guillotines open, so we want them to be able to use the bathroom outside. We don't want them to poop in their own area. So it was definitely an interesting experience.
And so what do you think about, how do you feel that playgroups are going to help you create a better quality of life for your dogs while they're sheltered at your shelter?
So I think for our specific shelter, the issue is going to be that these dogs are going to get into homes much quicker. I think that they are going to experience a better quality of life while being here. I think that it will make them be more marketable to people who are physically seeing them outside of the shelter, who can watch through the fencing and see them playing. I think it will help to make us
How do
more
these guys
confident.
do in the shelter? By the way, when you're in the kennels, are any of these dogs typically reactive in the kennels?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them that are
Right.
reactive in the kennel. Absolutely.
I can't wait to get your after footage.
Yeah,
Right?
the dogs in the kennel, as we all know, they appear very stressed and very frustrated by the people who are on the outside of the kennel. And us being humans, our natural reaction is usually to get down at eye level and put our fingers right up to the cage where we can sort of access them, but they can't really access us. So it causes a lot of behavioral issues that when we take them out of that situation, we don't normally see. So seeing them in this environment and having other people who are even just visiting the shelter, getting to see some of them out of the environment that they've seen them in the kennels, has been amazing. So it's been awesome. I think for other shelters, the big key is going to be that they're going to find out things about their dogs as well as us, who didn't know what was really their issues before or what their strong points are. So I think that the whole concept is really the foundation of where we need to start for
I
everything.
think so too. I'm going to stop and start a new interview.